my girlfriend and my son are sleeping, and I wanted to do this video a long time ago. Like, I probably made this list of cheap four-wheel drives that you could buy, and I think we're gonna do like probably the first 5, because I'm also gonna look them up on Facebook Marketplace because it's been 2 years, and when I've looked at them, I think the prices have been cheaper, and now that everything has gone up, it seems like, but maybe not in some places. Just like this is just for where I live, but you can also find these anyplace else. So we get right into it. So the first one is, starting with number 10. This is number 10. This is already built. So if you're looking for a four-wheel drive, obviously you would want to start with something that's already built, but sometimes you don't. Maybe you want to get something that is already built and just take parts off of it to put it on your four-wheel drive. It all depends on what you want to do. So I'm just going to type in rock crawler, because that's what I like to do. You can do mud truck or whatever you want to do. Do rock crawler there. So I'm friends with this guy. He's already built one, and so that's his. He races it. I'm friends with him in the club that I'm a part of, and he wants $60,000 for it. So, but like $60,000 is a lot. Yes, it is. So you can go through and you can breed it all. He's got like really good stuff on it. Where'd it go? Like 40 spline, you know. Some of the stuff, like 3-inch Fox shocks on it, like coilovers basically, and it's got a 403 stroker in it, so, and it makes 680 horsepower. So if you're racing, you want to spend some money, that's it. I'm gonna just scroll down through here, see if I can find something that might be a little bit, here we go, a little bit cheaper. So this happened to be on the list too, but the Toyota 4Runner, it's old, it's an 84, solid axle swapped already, and $7,000, you're spending a little bit more than what you would probably want to if you're just starting out. But it's got the 22R, it's 4-wheel drive, it's got 48 gears, it's got lockers front and rear, it's got 35-inch tires, like this, and it's already beat up, so you don't have to worry about body panels being damaged or anything. So $7,000, a little pricey for some people. I try to keep it under $10,000 if you can, but if you're doing like overlanding and stuff, then you would probably want to spend a little bit more, probably closer to 15 if you're going to do overlanding with a vehicle, because you want something that's good and reliable and that's not going to break on you all the time. So yeah, 4Runner is on the list. $7,000, this one's already built, so I mean, so buying something that's already built is probably a little bit better. See, like here is an XJ 2-door that's already built. It's $11,500. To me, that's a little pricey for an XJ, but see what we got we got a 4.5-inch lift, we got 3 links set up, we got 538 gears in it with a front locker, and the rear is welded. I don't know how I feel about the rear being welded. This is my opinion. And then you got a Rubicon transfer case, which is 4 to 1. So yeah, and it's already got Super Duty axles on it. So just reading what's on here. Spend a little bit more. You could probably get this for about 9 or 10 if you talk to the guy, but yeah, buying something that's already built would be a good way to go, but sometimes you want to build your own so you know the vehicle. It's hard to buy something that you don't know and wheel it and end up breaking stuff that you don't know what parts it's for. So keep that in mind too. So anyways, now we're getting to the really good part. So number 9 was, what did I put number 9 at? Number 9, Land Cruiser. So a Toyota Land Cruiser, in my opinion, is good if you're overlanding and if you have a family you want to take with you off-roading, because it's a 4-door. And for the Land Cruiser, I can't remember exact year. I'm going to go with 95, because I can't remember if it was 96 or 97 they switched over to independent. But if you buy a newer one that's a Land Cruiser, you're going to have independent front suspension, and that's going to be very hard to do off-road, but you could travel and do like overlanding with it. So I would try to find an older one that already has the solid axle in it, but that's just my opinion. This one is 10,000. I think this is good. It already is built a little bit. It's got a front bumper, and 35-inch tires. Like, to me, you're not going wrong with 10,000. This would be a good overlander or rock crawler or whatever. Probably overlanding would be preferable, in my opinion, for these. Then we have, these have gone up in price, I think, since the last time I looked at them. Like, this one is more stock, and Land Cruisers, you either get a straight V8 depending on the year with them. So this one has a 6-cylinder and it's a 96, so I believe it's a independent front. I can't tell, but here's this one, spending 15, like 15.5. Yeah, just independent. So yeah, 95 I would prefer to get, or lower. And it's all stock. This is stock. Like, there's nothing special to it. That would be a good platform to start with. And it has 80,000 miles. So, see if there's anything else. Here's a 90. So this is 91. This is 7 right here. This is what I like. I would buy something like this. Because it's already got the solid axle underneath it. And this one's a little high in mileage, but that's okay. You're just off-roading it, so you don't really care about mileage. And does this one have the V8? I don't know if it does. No pictures hood. But no, it's stock. It's already got a rack on the top of it, so you can put stuff up there. You can put, probably 5 people I think you can haul with, and you can find them in an automatic or a stick. Around here, it's a little bit harder to find them in a stick because people drove them. In my opinion, I prefer a stick, depending on what you're doing with it and what you're comfortable with. Manuals are not common around here because they all rotted out because, in my opinion, people just drove them because they're fun to drive a manual. So, yeah. And then you got 2004 on here. You got another 93. It's 7.5. So, I mean, you're under that 10,000 range. It's stock. I think you're doing pretty good if you get the solid axle one. Independent is not bad, but I think you're going to spend a lot more money trying to replace CV axles and building the front suspension to take a beating, in my opinion. So, is it worth it? I don't know. Depends. I've seen people off-road in independent, and to me, it's not worth the hassle because you're constantly breaking stuff in the front, mostly axle shafts. So, and it's a lot of money to beef up the A-arms too, to take a beating. But yeah, on to the next one. So number 8 is a Toyota Tacoma. So Toyota Tacoma, they are just, the new ones are everywhere, basically. You can get them in an automatic or a manual. The 4-liter is great. If you go older, you can get one with a solid axle, with a 4-cylinder, possibly if you can find one. I don't know if if they came with the V6, but I think I know the 4Runners came with a V6, and I can't remember if that's a 3-liter at the time, if you go that old, or it's like a 3.4 something. It's something weird. I don't know my Toyotas very well, but so we're gonna type in Tacoma. Probably gonna get a lot of new stuff. Well, here's an old one. So here's an old one. Looks like it's already lifted with stock. So it's okay. So this one has a V6 3-liter in it with a 5-speed with 410 gears. So you're spending, $8,000. You could off-road it. If not, you could at least put bigger tires on it, and you could drive it daily if you wanted to. I think an 88 is independent. Yep. So you would want one from like the early 80s, late 70s, if you can find one. It's okay if you can't, because they're still good with independent, but you can also find axles for Toyotas and put them underneath it, or you can go with heavy duty, super duty axles or Dana 60s or whatever you can find. You can shove underneath it there. So that one's for 8. That one's 10. A few of these. That one's 2-wheel drive, so now looking at that. Here's a 2001, depending on the frame. It says it's not roadworthy, so that's no good for us. So up here the frame's rotted out. I don't know where everybody else lives, but if you do have that problem, you can go get it fixed. Toyota does fix those. I know they had a bunch of recalls and stuff that you could have done. back in the day. Trying to find a decent one that's pretty cheap to show you guys. I guess I'm gonna go back up here because there was one. This one's a single cab. You can find them in single cabs or 4-doors or extended cabs. But this one happens to be a single cab. This one's for $6. They're a little pricey. Toyotas are a little pricey, but you get your money's worth out of them. They are so reliable. So you really don't have to do much to them. They might be a little underpowered depending on how old you get and if you get one with a 4-cylinder. Like this one would probably be a dog off-road. But you would have everything. You wouldn't break anything just because it would be so underpowered. So, yeah, and then that one's 18. Here's one. It's an extended cab for $7.5. Has a few dents in it, but not too terrible. And this one has the 4-liter V6 in it. And it's already got a selectable rear locker, which is good. And then, yeah, and everything else is just stock and bonus because it has speakers in it. So, Toyota Tacoma, pretty decent. I wish I could find an older one that was decent. I mean, if you wanted to, you could buy this. I think they're a little ugly, but also looks like it's been setting. You could build that. And this one happens to be 2-wheel drive, but you could always make it 4-wheel drive. There's some parts out there to make that happen. And you can pretty much, don't know if they were torsion bars or not at the time, but you could figure something out. Then this one is a 4-door, again, 7.5, 2004, not too bad. Look, yeah, locking rear. I think most of them had locking rear diffs. The newer that you get, so. Moving on to the next one. The next one, where did we leave off? 8.7. There's another Toyotas. I know there's a lot of Toyotas, like the first 3 have been Toyotas, but you're getting your money worth and you're spending a little bit more, so, and you're getting, in my opinion, a whole lot more reliable car to take off-road, or whatever you want to do with it. So we're going to take the 4Runner. I don't know how much these have gone up since I looked at them. Not too terrible. Not too terrible. We have a 97. This is one I looked at for taking off-road because it already has a good front bumper on it. And this one is a stick. So, let me see. So right here, it's a stick. You can find these in a stick, in a manual or an automatic. Everything that I put on this list you can buy with you can find with a manual transmission or an automatic, just to give you those 2 options around. Because I like my manuals, some people like automatics. It depends on what you're doing. If you're rock crawling, automatic. If you're still rock crawling and you still like to select the gear, that manual too. And it just comes down on how you build them. So there's that one. That one was like 5. That's not terrible. Then we got an older one here. So these are independent, so you're going to spend a little bit more on building the front suspension or solid axle swapping it. So this one's pretty nice too. Too bad it's in the guy's garage. Pretty clean underneath though, I say. Body has a little bit of rust, but not too bad. That one's a little bit over 5, so 4Runners are a little bit cheaper than Toyota and Tacomas. Here's another one with high mileage. It looks like it's already lifted. Stock though, pretty much. Not too bad on price, $35. If you want to get really crazy, you can get. So this one has the 3.4 liter V6s. The 2001s did. So a little bit in the 6. So you're spending probably about $5,000 on these. So probably about the same with the Tacomas too. You could probably find those around there too. But yeah. And then you can, if you wanted to, you could buy one for $1,500. I probably wouldn't recommend this, but if you needed parts, there you go. And then we got another one for $33. That's about $95. So yeah, Toyota 4Runner would be number 7. So moving on to number 6. I'm getting all confused here. So number 6, I have 2 of them just because, in my opinion, they're pretty similar. But that would be the SUV, another SUV. Let's do this one first. No, let's do the other one first. Just because of the. So did I put? I did. Okay. So that's not what I wanted. Oh no, I lost it. Give me a minute, guys. So I did. Okay, so then we'll do the other one first. Because after the other one leads into the number 5. So number 6, if I could spell, which I know I can't. So bringing us to number 6, there's 2, would be the Blazer and the Bronco. So, obviously the S10 Blazer is more common to find because they're a lot newer, but the one that I would try to really get my hands on is a square body Blazer. So I'm not saying the S10 is bad, it's a lot smaller, so it would probably be a whole lot easier to maneuver around in the woods, or I don't know, it's just very small in my opinion, but you don't want it really tipsy, so I would go with a full-size Blazer. But if you're on a trail, you're in the woods, it's a tight area, S10 Blazer would be what I would like to get if I was looking for one, because obviously the Blazer K5s are a lot more expensive than sometimes, but that one's for parts, that one's also for parts. I'm trying to find one that is not for parts that's in decent shape. Oh, here we go. So Blazer, GMC, Chevy, Jimmy's, they're all basically the same. So here's one that happens to be already built. It already looks like it's been setting. So get it for cheap, get it running. Probably won't take you much to get it running, and then, you know, might have to put some more money into it to make sure everything underneath and transmission and everything is good with that. I do have an S10. It's like $700. It's ugly, but I mean, there's probably there's not a title for it, so that would be perfect. You could beat on it, leave it out in the woods if you want, in my opinion. And then, yeah, so Blazer, I would try to get. The K5's already had the solid axles in the front. The S10 Blazer, which is the smaller version, is a 4-door, so you can put your kids in it, family, friends, whatever, and go out wheeling for the weekend or the day, or you could have it as an overlanding. So you would have two options there. S10 Blazer was was made up until, I don't know, early 2000s, so you could probably find one of those pretty cheap and affordable, and they're a lot, they're a lot smaller. So if you had somebody that had a Jeep, you could wiggle your way through like they do if you're in the woods or whatever. Pretty similar. And then the Bronco was also number 6. I feel like the K5 and the Bronco were kind of an even match because they're both 2-door SUVs. To get the S10s, and they were 4-doors. So they made the Broncos up till 96. So there's quite a bit of them. They made quite a bit of them too. And the prices are a lot cheaper than the Blazers. So, like this one, brick nose, I like the brick noses. They're not too terrible. Obviously, you would want to find like an arrow nose or a bull nose. Those were the best looking ones. And then, 70s is probably the holy grail of all the Broncos because they were great and they had solid axles. Alexa, stop. So, from the 70s Broncos, you would have a solid axle. The later Broncos, you had kind of independent, but to me it was stronger than the independent that they had today because they pivot in the middle. Here's one for $4,000. Bigger tires, lifted a little bit, so yeah. And you would find them with V8 engines in them. You could find them with a straight 6. You can find them in a manual. You can find them in an automatic. So, and then, they're pretty cheap, reasonable on price. This one's a little bit more expensive, but not perfect. So, could build one of those. Here's one that's a little bit of a project because the interior is gutted, but you do have the bullnose version of the Bronco. So, I gotta go get my son, but, if you wanted an early Bronco, you're spending a lot of money, and they're just not around here. Or you could buy a new one, which is fine too. They seem to be pretty decent as well. And then, leading us to number 5, because I wanted to do five of these in this video, would be the Bronco 2. I like the Bronco 2 because it's a lot smaller. You can find it with a V6, and you can get them in an automatic or manual. and they're kind of similar to a Ford Ranger. The front ends are way back in the day, but they're a little bit harder to find, I think, just because I think a lot of people drove them back in the day with their families and stuff. Still has that independent, but it's a solid axle, that pivot in the middle. I don't know what Ford was thinking back in the day, but I think they're, in my opinion, I think they're a lot stronger than what the independent they have today. But that's all up to you guys. I think they look good, also, but I also own a Ranger, and they have the front end of the Ranger, so the Rangers are also pretty similar to this. You get smaller wheelbase, so it would be like driving, it would be like very, very similar to a Jeep if you were looking for one of those. If you were looking for a Jeep or something, like a Cherokee or a Wrangler, I think it's pretty similar in wheelbase, so you'd be pretty even match with that. I think the independent might be a downfall, but also it's not really independent compared to what Toyota had, so it may help a little bit. The ride quality might be a little bit better compared to a Jeep, so take that as you will for the first 5, and I will see you guys in the next video when I talk about the other 5. So